Take this distinguished honor and give it just a couple seconds. I popped on just a couple minutes. This being 9/11 is my least favorite day of the year. There's no doubt about that. Life does certainly go on. Each and every one of you guys that are part of the community here on the Independent Investor Channel know that I've got a gall darn special place in my heart for New York City. I lose it every year. This year was no different, but I did provide a piece of my insight. I did feel like I was a visitor to New York City, but while I was up there, they took me in. They really did. I placed that right up on the Facebook group. I've done a lot of work on the Facebook group this week specifically, and for you guys that are new to the channel, I want to invite you over to the Facebook group. I'm going to continue to press this until you guys just pony up and listen to me. It take you 10 seconds to kick over there and join this group. The VIP code to get into the group is Lightning. If you forget that the VIP code is Lightning, rewatch the live stream and just look behind me. It's not Bitcoin and it is not empowered. The code word is Lightning. So I've admitted a lot of people that were legit people. The idea is not to run people through hoops and checks and balances, etc., with the goal of denying people. What I'm trying to do is protect the integrity of that group, because my heart and soul is in that group. And there's other people that are representing the integrity of the group as well. I've got now about 30 administrators within the Facebook group who are working as equally as hard as me. There's been a few that have evolved with the product, and they've actually legitimately looked to use the Facebook group to get information in the hands of people. So for example, you can kick in there now, and I just want to run you guys through a little something here. I'm going to put this on full screen. This is part of the post that I made here, honestly, in remembrance of that day. It's hard for me to really even say it, so I won't. You guys are welcome to kick in there and read my thoughts. I did give a comment, of course, some of my photos that you guys have also seen through some of my websites that I have pushed out. I'm very proud to have this opportunity, have originated in New York City. I mean, my LLC is still to this day registered in the state of New York City, and I just can't say how proud I am. So read that. I do explain what Captain Day meant to me, had a profound impact on me personally. I've had quite a few talks individually with this man, and this offering from Tom Hanks that was on YouTube has got multi-millions of views. And if you have not seen it, it'll touch you, no doubt. So please be prepared. And that's all I'll say about that. I just want to cordially extend that invitation for you guys to kick over and enjoy that. But here's the topic section that I talked about over here to the right. Very important that you understand. I've gone back through 2 years of Facebook posts to organize these topics. So for example, if there's certain topics in here, like I'll use Raymond. Raymond is just an absolute gem in this group. He adds an infinite amount of value. This doesn't have anything to do with money whatsoever. It has everything to do with his desire to push out phenomenal information. And his responses to people in the Facebook group are equally as impressive. He does not shy away from the truth. He gives people just razor sharp information when they ask about it, and he doesn't mind pushing out there, and he does not provide answers that are politically correct either. So you guys will enjoy that, man. You guys will enjoy the organization there in the group. The second initiative that I've taken up is over here on the left side, and that is with the units section. So I've basically rolled out my first opportunity here. It's probably down the thread just a touch. Yeah, here it is. And this is unit 1. This is part of the course that I've rolled out here. So if you go in here and see unit, there's going to be a podcast. There's going to be a Zoom opportunity as well that I've rolled out through the group. That Zoom is, let's see if I can find it. I got a lot of posts in here that people are rocking out. Hey, there's my wife. Yeah, up toward that. There it is. It looks somewhat similar to this. So if you click into that unit, you can actually engage in that line of self-education, man. And I spent some time there doing a self-help test that you can go through. My brother said he went through the test and he couldn't get 100% on it. So I went through it. I took it. I wrote the test, but it's really aimed to get you to think. And I think all too often people are plugging themselves into YouTube. I was talking to Kyle with Passive Income Investor, who's going to be a group on the discussion, so it ought to be lively. So buckle up your seatbelt. Kyle's just a good friend of mine, as well as Junior Stock Investor, who as well is just a good friend of mine. Carte blanche. We were rapping before the live stream. It's amazing how we can come on here and from a lot of different areas represented, not only in the United States, but across country borders, man. I just think that's really cool that we can come on and revolve around the same topic. But, guys, make sure and make your way over there, because those units are designed to help those new investors. Because I do feel like a lot of investors are probably getting excited about investing through YouTube, and they're plopping themselves into the market ill prepared. And I know this isn't the sexiest aspect of the Coast Guard, or excuse me, the stock market. I know there's a lot of people who just want to get involved because they have folks like myself who provide lots of testimonial about how rewarding the market is. Here's the thing: the stock market can be as rewarding as it can be. If you are not prepared to reap those rewards, you're going to go on tilt and you'll probably fail. You really do need to accept some level of mental discipline before you enter into the market. You have to be prepared for wealth. All right. It's one of those things that we know based on research that people who are ill prepared for wealth are going to fail at not only achieving wealth, because I think you can get a little bit lucky sometimes and fall into, even if you join this community and you don't like the community, but you pay attention to some of the offerings that we throw out, you can trip and fall into some wealth. But my question is, are you going to be able to preserve that wealth in your program? And I think people really do need to go through a level of deliberation with regard to their budget, their spending habits, and their credit debt situation. And they really need to do a self-assessment of that. And this exercise is built around that. Now, if you're a visual learner, wonderful. I've taken that into consideration and I've provided a tutorial. I have the YouTube video ready to go. And I will post that to the Facebook group as well as to the subscriber base. But that is going to be aimed to be part of that unit, along with specific content that is posted to the Facebook. There's a 30-minute lesson that I put in there along with the written test. So after you get done with that, hopefully you can pull one or two, or maybe it's a radically life-changing opportunity for you to look at your own situation and be like, dang, I need some help. And I do contend that if you go through this exercise and you identify some red flags in your life, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. I'm constantly evaluating my own program. Like, there's no start and stop for me. This is a learned discipline over time, that this helps you with somewhat of the deliberation of going through that self-assessment, because I think a lot of people reside on the surface level of their spending discipline, dealing with their inflow and outflow, and they've never really critically assessed where they are with their sunken costs and with their luxury costs or expenditures. So that is aimed to help. Just another initiative, just another layer of opportunity that we roll out free of charge. I had some incredible channel creators like Hidden Freedom Investing. I got Blood Phantom 81. Rebecca Waters is in the house. GW ETF channel in the house. I did see Dave, Hidden Freedom. I got Gen X in the group, man. So quick shout outs to these guys, man. Gen X has been busy ginning up a lot of content for sure. I didn't see Jason kick in here yet. Somebody said he's probably counting his stacks. He probably is. That's good, man. Love to see that success coming along for some of these channel creators. Ethos, Dan, with Ethos Investing as well, has popped on here. So just to give these guys some proper shout outs, man, Randy, as well as in the group, Dividend Driver James, who's just been a staunch supporter. I should be throwing and making sure if you guys didn't get a wrench, let me know, because I'm throwing out wrenches tonight as well. But just keep in mind as well, I do want to make our last plug for the independentinvestorgroup.com as well. Very, very important. We are slowly growing that. And for those who have already made their way in there, I'm sure they would attest to the fact that they're probably getting about 10x value. Okay. It's not going to be for everybody, but for the people who have made their way in there, man, you've got snippets, almost daily injects from guys like myself, Kyle, and Matt as well, who are helping provide those snippets of injective information. Guys, you can't find that level of detail anywhere. My wife just made the comment today, man, nothing in this world is free anymore. But I tell you what, going with what Kyle insists that we do, and that's providing an X number of degree of value over and above the cost of entry into that group, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's almost a tip, for crying out loud. That's what it is. And it's actually our way of pulling that opportunity away from YouTube and offering it exclusively through our community. So we're not attached to the YouTube. You guys know how I poke the bear all the time. I'm looking to use and abuse YouTube to reach my end product, to reach my audience. That's what we're using it for, okay? My loyalty exists to you guys, not YouTube. Okay. That's why I could care less about clicking over to 25,000. I'm proud, but I'm more proud of the people who we're getting to on the level where we're providing that huge level of value. So certainly want to welcome everybody to the message, man. I'm going to kick in here. I'm going to bring Junior on, good friend of the channel, as well as Kyle with Passive Income Investor, and have just a general round robin. That'll free me up to go through and get some of these questions addressed, and I'll throw those on the group here. So I'm going to build the stream here. Gents, what's going on, man? I got Junior Stock Investor who's got his IPA working, and Kyle, like usual, is just being it's the positive attitude, man. We were talking before how cool this community is. Thanks, guys, for helping me push this out tonight. So, how's everything going? What's the pulse of the market? Where are we doing? What are we doing? Because we've got some interesting things going on right now. And if nothing else, these WhatsApp groups are kind of allowing us to take really interesting data from people on what their tendencies are, what they're thinking, what moves they're making in this market. And I think that data is invaluable. Now, I'm not acting on a lot of that, but it is interesting to get people's consensus on what they're thinking, what they're doing, whether or not this is a time to be dumping huge amounts of money into the market. What's your guys' thoughts here? What are you doing?
Chilling, throw money around here and there. The markets are good, man. We were just talking about this before we went live for you guys that, we could talk about the individual stocks in a bit, but this market sell-off is so well needed. It's not even funny. And I think it could be a pre-build up to the election, but it's going to be a rocky ride. So hold on and get ready to pick up some good deals. So that's what we're here for sure. Right?
If Junior, Apple hits 91, I'm entering back in.
You think it'll go that low? That's a good question.
I do.
Let's make crazy bets. How low do you think it'll go? That's the question I get all the time right now. So
91, easy.
So we got Apple at the top of my list there, but what's it at right there? I'll show the world. We're sitting at what, 111, just
113,
112,
111,
and after hours. I can't make a prediction.
I can see again there.
Microsoft's a hard one to play out, man. It's been playing the same trend for a while now. I can't. If Facebook dips below 250, I'll be rattled. I keep saying that. I'm already shocked that it's back down here, but I can't see it dropping 250. And if it does, then I'm going to town because it's just going to get way too cheap at that point. But yeah, even these big tech stocks where they sit right now are starting to be more than at fair value. I mean, the forward PEs are dropping back into the mid to low 20s at the rate they're dropping right now. So I mean, at what value are you going to put Tesla and your SPACs and your spec plays, and then put the best companies in the world?
You can't.
Value. You can't even value these things, right?
No.
But 40 was rich. I mean, if we're talking about actually valuing them, where they were was bubble territory, in my opinion. But I'll let one of you.
Facebook's been a good value for multiple years here now. Facebook's tough. You can't compare Facebook to a lot of stocks. Facebook stands alone as being that very, very rare, great balance sheet, great growth, and almost dabbling in the value category. So yeah, Facebook's pretty dominant here. I'm really excited to see where they take this. We were talking offline. I just think they're a big data collector right now, Kyle. I really do.
Yeah, you were saying
The
that
moves-
last time, and I thought that was a really interesting input there. But people are underestimating the dominance. Like everything they touch right now is almost complete destruction, except for Libra, apparently. But I mean, when you're talking about Facebook Marketplace, it's going to destroy eBay and Kijiji, all of them. I've been using that pretty aggressively to sell stuff, and it blows my mind. It just boom, boom, boom. You see who's buying, selling. You get to see the profiles. It's free. They're doing Amazon's trait. I mean, you know, your margin is my my treasure chest. What does Jeff Bezos say? Your margin is my what? Come on, you guys. This is like the most famous quote ever. The richest man in the world. Give me some insight here. He has the greatest quote. Sorry.
I was gonna say I bought some Microsoft. I believe it was Monday. I think Tuesday, not Monday, because the market was closed for Labor Day. But I bought some Microsoft on the dip. Microsoft's a tough one because it's like they don't go down as much. I think the lowest it went was about 12%, right? So
they're a great company, man. Just on every spectrum since
they are.
The new CEO stepped in between cloud
Oh
computing.
yeah, Satya Nadella. Yeah, he's awesome.
Genius. You think they're going to get TikTok with Walmart? You think that's going to fall through? You got September 20th, man. They got 9 days to figure this $20 billion deal out, or it becomes null and it's not.
I think they will. But I just hope that they let the people that run the TikTok, let them run the operations on the social media.
You sound like a robot.
You sound like a robot.
I just hope they don't take.
Think you're cutting out, Junior. It's all right.
Oh, hold on. All right, let me.
Hey, it's like you're living up in the north here. I can't believe I got better internet than Junior does right now.
Kyle, I got you crystal clear, man. Crystal clear.
I think Rogers is trying to compete with Starlink because everybody's offering these unlimited deals now for internet, and I'm thinking about waiting. I don't know. Should we wait for Starlink? Should we just go with Rogers? Oh my God, Junior. There's a party in the other room.
I got everything hardwired in, man. That's my secret. I was trying to do Wi-Fi, but every now and then it does get a little cranky. But yeah, my Ethernet.
Maybe you can offer me some insight talking about internet and telecommunication here. I have never been able to buy into Rogers. Maybe you can chime me in because I'm trying to understand like the infrastructure, how this stuff works, and how these. I understand me paying them to use their data, but how does something like Starlink affect this when these guys are desperately fighting to get people up in the Canada area where internet sucks? This is new. Yeah. So they're offering this stuff out here now. And I think they're just trying to compete with Starlink because they're terrified because it's coming in the fall. And I'm just like, how does telecommunication get affected by 5G? Like, do they do satellites? Like, do you know anything about it?
Not really.
Because everyone keeps saying, like, why don't you buy telecommunication? And I'm like, can anybody explain to me, like, how to understand it? It's the same thing when people are buying into any stock. Like, they don't understand the competition. They don't understand, like, who they're dealing with, who the seller is, who the buyer is, how much, like, the competition is charging, who's going to come in. Like, it's so much management involved that, like, I hate when people are like, oh, you should own this to diversify. And I'm like, should I? I don't know.
For sure.
Sorry,
for sure.
I
think, no, you're good. How you doing now?
Good. Is it better, guys?
Yeah, just turn your volume down.
Okay.
Then you're good.
The man's back.
Is that better?
We should celebrate. It is his first year pretty much of investing.
Is that better, right?
It's a little bit better. Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Better? Okay.
Yeah, your volume's good now.
False.
All right. I apologize. I was like, oh, crap. And then went to the other room. My girlfriend's there with her nieces. I'm like, damn, I get no privacy in this place.
No, man. The cool thing about this is real investing for real people, man, to be honest with you. Honestly. And the funny thing about this is when we do this every single week, it's kind of, in the investing world, a week is nothing. You know, it's and so we come across every single week. We come together. We talk about certain things. We have certain guests on the channel. But honestly, I don't want it to be like, okay, oh, we made it through another week. Oh my God, what's going to happen next week? Because man, the more you can kind of disconnect from your program a little bit, the better off you'll be. The only buy I made this week, I made one stock purchase this week, and that was it. I bought ADV pre 90. That was a good pickup for me. Nice clean 50 share position, emboldened the dividend income in the Roth IRA. So I was satisfied with that. But right now at the 50-50 clip, I'm pretty solid. I did enter into the SPAC too. I did buy that today, actually. I've been waiting for that. Today was like the first day of rollout on September 11th, certainly. And I just saw JMac pop in. So he's the expert on that stuff. But there was a session there where I was doing my research. Part of my thesis for Hyliion, which was the first SPAC that rolled out that Tortoise basically did a lot of the research for us on. I was very impressed on their ability to pick that company. They vetted over 200 companies before they selected Hyliion to go big, and that's going to the moon. That's in a pretty bullish uptrend. If you looked at the charts on those, and there's 1/3 of the shares outstanding for Hyliion outstanding right now. Post merger, that's going to be the case. So Nikola right now about 15 billion at market cap. Hyliion is one. So pretty interesting stuff. But Tortoise Acquisition Group and their board, it's really interesting to understand how good they are at seeking out these opportunities. So this next one is going to be about carbon emissions reduction and efficiencies within industry. So I did take that position today. It actually came public today. So I don't know if Jason was following that a little bit more than myself, but those were the two positions this week. So nothing too crazy, you know, but a lot of cash on the side for sure. Just going to monitor the next market. Just going to monitor it the next couple of months to get me through this election, and then we'll see what happens. But the dividend portfolio is set, you know.
I was saying before I got cut off that, you know, I bought some Microsoft, AT&T, and I bought some you know, Home Depot, but everything else, you know, I was looking into like AMD and NVIDIA. They're just way too expensive right now. I mean,
they are.
Hey, they're part of the future, man. The future stocks are at a
they are.
Anything that's you know, taking things to the moon, which is probably in a bubble. I mean, most of it's probably going to burst in the next few. It'll be the marijuana industry all over again.
He says, yeah, I got some.
No.
I want to shout out AK because I was just scrolling through and he said he made 320 grand. If I didn't miscorrect that off Tesla stock, and he sold all of it. If that's
Where's
true,
it at?
I don't know.
Where's it? I gotta put that. I gotta put that on the screen, man.
Yeah, scroll
Hold
up.
on a sec.
AK said, yeah, it's not that far up. It's not there. It is.
Did you put an extra digit in there? Is that a typo or is that good? Because here's the thing: you come on the Independent Investor channel, and you put something like that. That's something to be celebrated. Because here's the thing: like the stock market, we were talking before we came live, very powerful, very powerful place. And if you're excited about the stock market, you should be just as excited about getting your mental makeup correct. Because again, we don't want to put anybody on planned failure. You have to be willing to accept that wealth. You have to be able to not get excited when your plan works out.
Can you call in? So, can we get AK to call in here? You should just
call
in. You don't even need to live stream. You can just call in. We don't need to see your face. It'd be beautiful, man. If you come on, I'll give you a rain money. We'll do a little rain down for you.
I just gave AK a $321,000 wrench. So congratulations.
We got Wall Street bets right here, brother. I mean, get on, man. Shoot out the link.
If nothing else, AK needs to take a premium membership to the freaking WhatsApp group, man. Jesus, direct connect yourself to the Independent Investor channel. And Kyle, we need these, man. We need these small tokens. But that's awesome, man.
I'd love to hear that trade. I'd love to hear that trade for sure.
No doubt. Well, Tesla made good profit yourself as well, Kyle, right? I mean, but The thing that's cool is I've watched you now for a long time on YouTube, and I don't have respect for people who come on and they're like, I'm the greatest investor ever. No, not necessarily, man. You had a thesis about a company, you put that into play, the strategy worked for you, and you had a somewhat of an exit strategy. Great. You know, I don't think you're the world's greatest investor. I'm talking literally, right? And take it in stride. Invest because you expect success, but don't come on and portray yourself as the greatest investor ever, man. We need to understand that success is fairly commonplace in the market. You need to get used to how to handle that. Do you want to comment on that, Kyle?
Well, making 300 grand is pretty great. I'd love to hear how you did it, because I'm just trying to think of the numbers of when you
That's
got
big.
in or how much you put in the first place. But I'm hoping it wasn't too out of risk control for your age. But if you got 300 grand now, man, diversify,
You're good.
diversify.
We need to talk.
No
you
more
need to.
Tesla stocks. No more Tesla stocks. Go
You need
make
a Zoom
10
meeting.
grand. Yeah. Go make your next bank, and then you buy another Tesla. But take that 300 grand and just, you're retired. Like, get rid of that. Pretend like it doesn't exist.
Johnson stocks.
Well, 14 years, a doubling cycle gets you to a millionaire. You've just used Tesla to make you a millionaire. That's
Tesla's
you know.
hard to grasp, man, because if you're in it,
Yeah.
it's so psychologically confusing, because I don't look at it as a big win, but it's weird because it is like technically my biggest win. I mean, I got a 500% gain, and I was taking profits all the way up. I mean, I only probably made 30 or 40 grand. Probably 8 grand turned into what, 36, 38 is a decent chunk of change. But
That's
the thing
amazing.
is, it's
Within
not
a
bad,
year?
but yeah, because I was buying it in the 300s before it dipped. I think it was last, I don't want to quote, but yeah, it's been around a year. I mean, the account, like, I think almost tripled, doubled because of Tesla. But I don't know. It's hard to define those kind of stocks because they don't happen very often, right? Like, they're a rarity and a half. And it's hard to find risk bets that pay off to that degree, unless, like, we were talking about this earlier on the stream, because I hate talking about the 1%, like the tiniest percent of your portfolio that doesn't really equate to the vast majority of what's actually causing the success. Because I was ranting about that earlier with you guys, and I was just saying, like, people don't do their homework. They can't tell you, or we were just saying with the competition, like, people just don't do the homework and they buy these things. Sometimes they get lucky, but I think it forefronts for a bad echo into your future of investing if you're not careful with that, because then you start getting greedy, you start getting cocky. I think you get a little bit out of control with it. But I'd take, again, if you want path of least resistance, forget everything anybody's told you, just buy Facebook. I'm just saying, brother. I don't understand. Apple blew me away. I can't understand Apple anymore, but I can't sell it for that very reason. They do better than I can understand them. So I'm going to hold it. But Facebook, oh my God, I could write you 10 clear paths to doubling your money in the next 3 to 5 years. I still think Facebook should be in the top. I think it's going to compete for the top market cap. I honestly think they are going to dominate most of the market space when it's going to come to transactions. They're going to start competing with PayPal. They're already destroying, like we were saying, like eBay. They're destroying Kijiji here in Canada. I don't know if that's in the US. Like, everything they're touching, they're just trying to dominate. And it's wild because they got the numbers. Like you said, man, they're just collecting data. They're not even monetizing it. It's just wild, the access they have. They're the Coca-Cola of advertising. Except apparently people don't like Coke anymore. So let's say Pepsi. They're the Pepsi of advertising. I mean,
Coke
Pepsi wanted,
everybody.
did you know Pepsi wanted to display their ad on the fucking moon? And instead they settled for the Concorde jet because they couldn't get the moon idea off the ground. I mean, God, I want to sit at those board meetings. I want to be part of that advertising team.
People still buying Pepsi even when it's at its high right now. It's just with the whole market right now. It's just just gotta keep investing in good quality companies. It's not complicated. People want to do all these different stocks that either speculative or maybe not as profitable. Just keep doing great quality stocks consistently throughout the long run, and you're good. Am I good? Am I topping up? Or
you're good.
Do you guys have any
Okay.
shout outs for good recommendations? Because, like, I was telling you guys, I'm going down the rabbit hole. I watch everybody, day traders, everybody, just because I love learning what they're doing. But do you guys have any YouTubers? Because I know we were talking about PPC Ian, but is there any other guys that you would like solidly recommend for just the advocacy of their portfolio? I mean, I would, to the average investor, I think they should better off take PPC Ian's route rather than take my route. the just for the general view of it, it's a very subtle, soft, like anybody can do this. You don't have to be smart. Just make sure you're buying the great companies regularly. But is there any other YouTubers? I love financial education, but I think he's very involved in his portfolio, which I think isn't for most investors, because it's way, like you're saying, like it's a very concrete. I mean, I think he only holds something like not even 15 stocks too, right?
You talk about Jeremy's channel, right?
I love him. The guy's brilliant. I love what he's done. But I mean, at the end of the day, when I'm trying to think about the average in person, like most people come up and ask me, like they have no idea what they're doing, right? And they're probably just brains against the wall. But where would you, aside from us, because I mean, you guys, I love what Captain Ryan does. I mean, we're all doing our own thing, but for just advocacy of who you admire in like the perspective of best investment style, if you were to just say, if you're randomly going to do something, this guy's got this guy's got a good solid. I don't know. I don't watch PPC in as much, but when I think about everybody I watch, I'm like, there's not many people like him. He truly is, somewhat of a rarity when it comes to just how he's doing his videos, and just the idea of, well diversified, not too mentally involved when it comes to like, oh my God, you have to pay attention to this every news article. And because that's us. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that's me. Like I'm on this shit way too much. I think it's starting to get to my head.
I like Joseph Carlson. He's got really good videos. He breaks it down here, and then with them, it doesn't matter if the markets are high or low. He consistently keeps buying. He's very transparent with his portfolio, so he's got a really good channel. Gen X, of course. There's so many. I like, what I like? I like certain channels because of the personalities. Like I like JJ Buckner because in the beginning he drinks IPA beers in the beginning and he goes over his stocks. So I like those type of channels. But I mean, there's a lot. I like Ali Stocks. I don't know if you ever heard about him. He doesn't show his portfolio dollar wise, which I respect.
Yeah.
He doesn't, but he's very transparent as far as like researching a stock, looking at its balance sheets, dividend history. Because the thing is, a lot of people I watch is more dividend focused, but I do like a mix of growth stocks too. Like that's why I got Facebook. I know a lot of people are heavy on dividends, and there's one gentleman that I think you guys should definitely watch. I don't know if you heard of. His name is Carey. It's called Best of Investors. He's an older guy. He posts his video every morning. It is awesome. I love his channel because it's not just about stocks. It's just about life in general, about building wealth. He's, I think, 75 years old. He's still investing in Google, Tesla, Amazon, because usually, not to be, age biased, but a lot of older people tend to invest more in bonds heavily. He's all into Facebook. I think that's his number one holding is Facebook, Tesla, Google. So Best of Investors is another good channel too that I recommend.
I love sorry, go on.
Now I'll take a crack at it. I'll take a crack at it because I'm old school. I remember when I started YouTube, man, there wasn't but 10 that I was kind of really aggressively searching the landscape and being like, okay, you got Beat the Bush, you got Scribner, myself, Jeremy, financial education. A lot has come and gone, but let me throw these at the top. I like Joe. I like Gen X a lot. So Joe Carlson, Gen X. You throw Nate O'Brien in there for some lifestyle types of perspectives. Ryan Scribner's got some interesting perspectives as well. If you like the affiliate piece and really leveraging the YouTube opportunity beyond just investing per se, because I sometimes really take the conversation in, okay, investing is investing. Great. I do a pretty good job of breaking down all the different styles and kind of dubbing them their own strategy. Okay. Dividend growth investing, passive investing, right? Growth style. And the idea is to take each and every one of those categories and say, how can I take this formula? How can I take this basket and make it make sense for me? Right. And for a lot of people, 401k may be all that they need for their entire life. 401k can put them into that category of, if I'm maxing this out and I'm saving for my future, you're going to have X number of dollars aside when you retire. But Man, look at that basket. I look at Matt and look at Kyle and look at myself. Look at some of these folks in this direct community. You know, Dave's working with over a $1 million net worth. He didn't
Dave's
just wake up one morning and add that, right? And so those are some of the silent warriors. And the thing about I like about Dave too is he's just a regular guy. So when you talk, Junior, about like sitting across from somebody and you're like, dang, I can really relate with this guy. He doesn't have the fancy suit. He doesn't get on and blah, blah, look at me garbage. It's like, no, I'm just a regular fella. And to be quite honest with you, that speaks to more of the truth of real wealth for people. Those people that you see driving the Mercedes and really playing the part don't necessarily reflect where the real wealth is. Honestly, there's a lot of people with wealth and you would never have the slightest freaking clue about that, you know? So
well, I was going to say
think,
like, yeah, I was gonna say, oh crap,
you lost.
Am I breaking up again?
No, you're good.
Am I good now? Okay. Damn, I gotta find somewhere. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so unprofessional. Just usually
I feel.
The internet's pretty good.
You're living the pain, brother. You should, bro. I pray with some of the stuff that I do that it works for when I do it. You want to talk about unprofessional? My God, I pray.
I just want a foot stomp. Like, so how is this YouTube opportunity? How can it be perceived by the audience? Right? We're changing how investing is perceived. We're changing how the flow of information can be almost real time. So when I say there's never been a better time to be an investor, look, if you don't like me, just wait 40 minutes and you can kick on with Kyle and Matt Money. Right? A couple guys with $250,000 and $500,000 portfolios. If you don't like them, great. Turn them off and go somewhere else. I just gave you 10 channels that you can kind of pick your opportunity and just understand how everybody is seeking their opportunity. It doesn't mean that you need to tune into a PPC Ian, who also would be on my list. It doesn't mean that you have to tune into any of these channels and be like, I have to invest that way. If you think that, you are approaching this thing the wrong way. If it go through my deliberation of understanding your own personal fitness to even enter the market and work on those things. And when you get that thing right, ask yourself the question, how do I want to make investing mine? And when you are seeking out some of this content on YouTube, be very, very critical of the information, mine included. Okay. It starts and it stops at an awareness level, and we revolve around the investing topic because I was talking to Kyle before the live stream. There's not a lot of people out there that feel comfortable engaging in this conversation. That's just one of those many barriers that we break down in this community, is that I like talking about money. I like talking about finances. I like when somebody admits that they made $321,000 on Tesla. That's freaking amazing. That's kick ass.
That's pretty dope.
You know, and I think there's small wins. I mean, I've got a win in the making right now with Hyliion. You know, Kyle, you talked about a $40,000 trade in Tesla. That's not small money, guys. Okay, that's investing moves that can be an annual income for a lot of people, and that was made through the power of the stock market. And that's not to be discredited, but it's very, very powerful. And I see a lot of people, they get involved with investing and they fall on tilt and they just can't handle and use some level of discipline to approach this opportunity in the responsible way. That's my piece.
100%.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I hope I don't get cut off. I was going to say, there's big channels like obviously Jeremy for financial education. The only problem I have with him is he'll talk about like Planet 13, penny stocks, and it's like, geez, man, like he's gonna take people's money.
But everyone's Beck plays, right? I mean, what's the difference between him talking about penny stocks and you guys talking about SPAC stocks? They are the riskiest investments in the market for a reason. They have no track record. They're all ideas. They're all funding a shit ton of money that might just burn in the air because nobody actually knows what the fuck's going to happen. I'm just saying, do you know, do you understand what you're like, any of the shit you guys are getting involved with? Seriously though, go ask anybody that owns Hyliion. Who's their competition? Just ask them basic questions. They can't answer them because they're like, oh, I saw my favorite YouTuber talk about it. Well, it's like they don't even know how the market is. They don't know how big the market is. They don't know who makes tractor trailers. They've never driven one.
I'll bet you could test me on Hyliion and I could pass your test. I've read every SEC document that they've come out with. I've read their investor presentation, and I know Jason's right with me. So, and the thing about it is, like, Hyliion's a little different because that was my exclusive SPAC that I do own. And that, to me, really, I looked for the bear case in it. And the bear case exists in the SEC document with the investor risk section. They outline that. They're required to do so. So if you read through there, you can come across global pandemic, economic downturn, competition from, like, let's say, Cummins, right? What's to keep these large majors from stepping in and just saying, you know what, I'm going to squash this little thing. But Hylion's a little bit different than the rest of the SPACs. Nikola, for example, was a big hype train, and there was a lot of people dumping money in that. That's a $15 billion company right now that's having to sue people because they're kind of calling their BS, right? They're saying, where is all this stuff that you're promising us? Where is all this stuff? Is it all conceptual, or is there something in the making? But for a $15 billion company, I think that's interesting. But yeah, Hylion's a little bit different. And if you want to talk about a stock or a company or an opportunity, I've spent more hours of research on Hylion than any other company. I don't need to spend as much time on J&J. I don't. I've owned a lot of companies in my portfolio for over 5 years. I know Matt's a little bit more on sitting on conference calls. If that's something that you want to do and it's something that you hear as an idea, lovely. I'm here to tell you I don't do that. I don't. I don't have that kind of time to devote, and I don't really want to devote my time to that. Am I going to hear something on a conference call that sways my decision to jump out of my J&J stock next week? I think not. I'm totally good with that. But those SPAC stocks, if I was going to kind of just earmark what Kyle was talking about, I don't think investors need to just be going out there and exclusively investing in these things. I've been kind of frequenting the Hylion group, for example, and covering some of the discussions that are going on some of these. And it's a hype train, man. So you really got to parse through some of the noise and make your own decisions as far as, whether or not you want to take on this opportunity. But here's the thing. Hylion is merging after the 28th of September. That's in the SEC document. Shareholders of record as of August 30th will have voting rights. I will be on that meeting. Jay, if you want to join me, I will be voting for that merger. So I carry with it a fairly large position, and the profit that I'm sitting on, that's real money. And I won't apologize for that. If I lose everything, I'll take responsibility for that. And if you know anything about SPACs, you really can't lose everything. Okay. And I'll just leave it at that. But, to each his own with opportunity. It's interesting how we talk about financial education, right? I'm old school. So I remember the first Jeremy, right? The first Jeremy that was trying to feel out YouTube, right? And push GoPro because GoPro was going to $300 a share. That didn't work out. Okay. GoPro went to $1 a share. Okay.
It's crazy.
If you listen, not only that, but there was margin buying there to put him in hawk of $187,000. Okay. Now, if that's your mistake, own that mistake. Okay. In stock investing, there is no emotion. So take responsibility for the moves that you make in the stock market, you personally. Okay, which is what I'm prepared to do with this. Now, I will say, and I'll chronicle the trade after I'm done, and I'll talk about all the things that I'm critical of myself about the Hylion trade. There are some things that I'm critical. An ill-advised buy in the upper 20s that was not technically based. That I'm wrong there, right? Going outside of my risk tolerance and owning about 10% of my portfolio in one holding. That's a little bit outside of my comfort zone. What allows me to buffer that is the actual level of research that I've engaged in personally. So, and I'm 100% confident. You could pretty much ask me anything about those SEC documents. And what I would say is challenge anybody that is like hype training the stock, buying it here at 50. I would challenge those people. Hey, have you went on and have you looked at the SEC filings since you're deciding to be a stock owner now in the company? But to be quite honest with you, I wouldn't have invested in the company had it not been for an awareness piece by my boy Jason, right? So from that perspective, I kind of I owe the guy a thank you, for bringing that awareness to the table, because my research tendencies wouldn't have put me on something like that. No way. But when I was provided the opportunity, I could have done one of two things: either drop it, not take the opportunity, or do what I did and do my due diligence. And that I did my way. I did.
You see what you did? You, like you said, you did your research, and then you broke it down, and you also made Kyle upset, and that's why he left the chat. It's not there no more. He just left.
No.
You got him upset.
I'm gonna bring him on. No,
he didn't want to hear it. He was like, man,
don't get upset
you're making fun of Jeremy, and then all of a sudden you're talking about I don't want to hear it.
No. I get the rebuttals. I get the rebuttals.
Right.
You're Canadian. You're supposed to be nice, man. You're not supposed to just leave.
He's
I like
100%
chill.
right.
Don't get me wrong. It's a great concept. The whole idea of it's amazing. The only difference
is more than a concept. It's more than a concept.
No, it's more than a concept. No, for sure. But it isn't a proven scalable business model yet. Just like most of these SPACs, that's just it, right? Like it's just a history of it. Like you're talking about companies like J&J that have been around for 50 or 100 years, but these guys that have, not that I'm talking about you guys or JMac. Like I have crazy respect for JMac and the knowledge he puts into it, but it's the people now that are getting into these because they're coming up to me and asking me questions about them, and they're like, "I'm going to buy this." Like it's so great, it's so cool. It's like, I'm just saying, like, what do you know about the industry? Have you ever driven a tractor trailer? Do you have any idea how that industry functions? Competition, who's coming up? Yeah. You got Tesla coming up. You got Toyota. Who else isn't talking about it that's manufacturing these? Like, you just don't, like, it's not a proven business model yet. And, like, you can buy into it once it's proven, but people want to take on speculative plays. And I've got mine. You guys got yours. Just, I wish people would understand better about the risk that they are taking on, and they're not understanding
it's
the
always
hype of
about
SPACs.
Yep.
Because it's like Nikola. Like, I'm going to break down Nikola later, but if you bought Nikola because it's this crazy cool company, you bought it and never looked at it, but I'm holding this thing for 20 years.
I'll be like, there.
Nikola's crazy.
Yeah,
it's funny because there's people. I saw comments of people like, yeah, Nikola's a great one. It's going to beat Tesla. I got $2,000. I got $5,000. I'm like, oh, no. I was like, people just throwing money, like, just not.
You like Bill Ackman, right? You're an Ackman fan.
Yeah. No, I can't wait to see what Ackman ends up buying. I swear it's going to be a restaurant.
That's basically what you're doing. You're giving him a blank check, and you're trusting his ability through his SPAC to pick up, because I don't know what he's buying. Right. And you're paying double for that SPAC. But for the people that really trust his judgment and hope it's not another Valiant, and trust his judgment to go out there and do the right thing, maybe it works out. The reality is SPACs have brought in $38 billion this year. It's a new concept. It's a circumvent to the old school way of entering the market, which has prohibited a lot of good companies from entering. Right. And what I talked about with regard to Hyliion specifically, it was vetted by this company looking for this very initiative. So it's not like they willy-nilly went out there and just said, we're going to place our bet on this. It didn't work that way. And I presume that the second offering is going to be a lot of the same. Vince Cubbage, he's legit. The dude's legit. They have money. They have expertise in the business. This little lawsuit that they got from this company was looking to get notoriety by putting this lawsuit. How do I know that? Because they brought it out and they identified that they somehow didn't do right by shareholders. Wouldn't the SEC have something to say about that? The very entity that both legal teams are trying to comply.
Have you read The Hindenburg?
I did.
Brilliant. I love it. The guy, man, there is so much in there that'll blow your mind. I was gonna try and live stream some of it on my my stream because I've been going down the Nikola rabbit hole. I've been dying to make a video, but I've just been learning, absorbing.
I don't want to steal your thunder.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I don't want to steal your thunder, man. I'm gonna let you have your moment, man, for sure.
I apologize about crying, but I didn't want to talk about it, but I saw videos of people commenting about Nikola throwing $5,000, $6,000. I'm like, why? There's so many good stocks out there.
Well, hold on a sec now. If you made a trade on Nikola, right? There's a difference between trading and investing. If you want to call it gambling, whatever. My bottom line in this gig is money. Okay. Now, how come it's socially acceptable to go pick a color on a spinning wheel as opposed to taking a shot on a hype investment? Okay, it's hype. Let's not call it hype. Let's call it trend investing. They just wrote an 11% deal with GM. Okay, that's not fake, right? And
It's the most
as
fake deal I've ever seen in my life. It's pretty crazy when you can pay people to partner with you. It's weird
yeah,
when the other partner doesn't
yeah,
deliver much
yeah,
to the table and you're
huh,
paying them
yeah.
billions to be like,
They're
we need
delivering.
you.
They're
Like, it's
delivering a
great on
concept.
their doorstep. Could you imagine being GM
Yeah,
and they're like,
yeah,
we're going to give you 11% of our
yeah.
company for what? Oh, we
Well,
might be able to
they're desperate.
manufacture this.
Yeah, GM's
I think
desperate.
I don't think they're desperate. I think Nicola's desperate, and GM just wants to be a face of a
They
company, man. They're
they
all
both
desperate.
are.
They're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
desperate.
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm sorry, Nicholas.
We're entertaining Junior. Look at Junior, man.
I apologize. It's just because the comments when people are really investing that much money in Nikola, not day trading, but just investing, I just can't stop laughing. I'm like, there's too many good stocks out there to be dumping your money investing in Nikola.
Well, so my point was, I didn't invest in Nikola, right? I looked at it. I chose not to. Jason did. He invested, and he made a ton of money, right? So does that not help embolden the portfolio a little bit to give a little bit of a springboard? You know, at the bottom line is money. I think he silenced his mic so we can't hear his big smile. Look at him laughing. This is the most fun Junior will ever have on a live stream. I guarantee, man. It's awesome. Kyle's having fun. He's just watching. I think Kyle froze up too.
I apologize. It was so unprofessional. Like, I'm freezing. I'm trying to come, be on the live stream. And when you guys said Nicola, I just saw a comment. This was a couple days ago from one of the.
I'm looking for it, man. I'm looking for it.
I gotta find out what channel it was, but I couldn't. I'm like, why are you dumping so much money investing in Nicola? Like, they haven't proven. I mean, I guess I gotta stop because maybe they see the long term, but I don't see it. I don't know.
See the long term, like it's to your point, Junior. Like, here's the thing: if you believe in the company, great. You need to put it in the category of a speculative play and adjust accordingly. That's how you approach investing diplomatically. I'm not one of those guys that are going to say, "Oh my God, you're stupid for investing in it." Doesn't mean that at all. Look, man, if you can take a trend, a hype trend type of investment, right? They've obviously generated enough hype to be dubbed a $15 billion company. Okay, so there's not nothing there, and to each his own with how you choose your investments. Okay, but to your point, why are we circumventing good ETF and index fund investing? Why are we circumventing good quality gems of the stock market to get your feet wet a little bit? But perusing some of these groups that are surrounding a lot of these plays now, a lot of people, it's kind of like an all-in bet, right? I'm looking to win big, and it's let's just be fair. It's not investing. They can call it whatever they want. I've been doing this a long time. And I wish them all the well. I don't wish ill will. I don't want somebody to get involved in investing and take a severe downturn. But sometimes those lessons, man, can have the most impact on people. And for those people that learn their lesson the hard way, I don't have any sympathy for you either. Just like I don't have any acknowledgement to how awesome you are as an investor if you do take a very, very risky play and you don't have the ability to define that risk. Like Kyle was talking about, he hit it on the head. You have to be able to define your level of risk before you enter into a stock. And defining that risk when you already have an established portfolio, like for me, for example, I'm not going to apologize. I've got money elsewhere. I'm good. I'm layered up. It makes perfect sense for me to do this. And to be honest with you, I've done my diligence and I had a hard time finding any type of bear case. Unlike some of these other SPACs, Hyliion is winning business in a lot of different ways. They have product on the road now. There's millions of miles that are put onto this. Now, I've had a few people come onto the comment that are part of the Freightliner industry, but Jay's had those guys on his channel. right? Guys that are like, a truck is like a hodgepodge of equipment, the engine, the drivetrain, the tranny, the cab, right? So it's a hodgepodge of equipment that's thrown together, whether it be a Peterbilt or a Cummins engine or an Allison transmission, whatever it may be, right? It's a hodgepodge of equipment. It's not this vision of, I'm going to write down or draw out the perfect vision of what I think a semi truck is. And the industry is not looking for that. The industry is looking for this solution. And my response to a business like Cummins just stepping in and being like, I'm going to direct compete with this, that's not their niche of business. It's not in their best interest to do that. What they would rather do is just partner like some of these other OEMs, right? Original equipment manufacturers have done already to partner with Hyliion. Those things are done. They're set. They're ready to rock. So, yeah, great discussion. That's for sure. We'll see where it goes. Look, and here's the thing: if I'm a winner and I cash out for some profit, I'm not going to come onto YouTube. I'll come onto YouTube and do the opposite. I'll chronicle the trade and I'll look at where all the places that I can improve upon. And that's just the difference in discipline between me and most investors, is that I'm always looking to get better. I'm not looking to just like put myself on a pedestal and be like, I'm done. There's no more learning I can do. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's conducive to a successful investing plan. You always need to stay on your edge and stay on your game if you want to remain competitive in this gig. Otherwise, you're going to get burned.
And you'll lose faith in a lot of people that, believe in you. You know what I mean? So that's the message. The message is very important. Obviously, what you put out to other viewers. That's what I feel like is the most important thing. And the channel creators that I mentioned earlier, those are good guys to watch for anybody that didn't get a chance. Those, JJ Buckner, obviously you, Gen X Dividend, Joseph Carlson, Best of Investors, Kerry. That's awesome. I listen to him every morning. That guy's amazing. He's a great story. If you get a chance, Ryan, check him out. Best of Investors with Kerry.
That's awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's the idea because.
Am I frozen? No,
you're good. Oh. You're good. Hey, Junior, but I am going to step off here and just give like a quick outro. I just want to thank you, man, for coming on. It was kind of a break for me. I typically don't like 9/11 at all. It's not a day that I like at all. I don't feel good the whole day. But appreciate you coming on and spending your time with me.
I appreciate that. And like I mentioned, I talked to you earlier before the live stream, man. We're united. We're brothers.
That's right.
I love what you're doing. And, just keep up the great work. Everybody else on the live stream, you guys have a blessed weekend. Stay united. Love one another, and continue to learn.
You rock. Thanks, Junior. Be well. Be safe out there driving, all right? All right, brother.
Later. You as well. Enjoy your weekend. Later.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so that'll wrap up another Friday live stream for sure. Just take a couple minutes. Thank the guests. Thank you to Kyle. I know we were dealing with a little bit of technical difficulty. No big deal. Just that's the way we roll. I do always have a chair right next to me on the Independent Investor Channel live stream. If you have any inkling at all to either come and be a guest on the live stream, do it. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate at all. It's a lot of fun. I know these guys had a good time tonight. The banter back and forth absolutely is awesome. It's all in good fun. It's all made to elevate the conversation. I'm not exempt from that. I've been doing investing a long, long time, and I've put pressure where I feel like it works for me. And I've found that. And when you get that track record of doing what works, it doesn't mean I stop evolving as an investor. It always means that I'm looking to be critical on those areas for improvement. And I would consider you guys to do the exact same thing, man. I want to thank Jay. I didn't give Jay the shout out for sure, but I've been meaning to reach out to you. I think we should do something maybe on the live stream on Friday, Jay. I think we should put something together because I'm not one of those folks that are quite as critical. I've learned that over time you really need to be open with your investing approach. And what can I say? I mean, I'm bullish the name. That's just one of about 50 names that I've got in my total overall portfolio. And I believe in every one of them. I wouldn't put my own money to risk if I didn't believe in the company top down. And I can give you probably a lot more insight from the research that I've done than the average bear. No doubt. I've also learned that by doing research, it doesn't guarantee your success. So you can just get over that right now. You can do all the research on a company. Warren Buffett does this all the time. I'm sure he had all the research before selling airlines and then sold at a multi-billion-dollar loss. Okay. So don't think for a second that just research is going to guarantee your success in the market. Stay humble, stay strong, continue to evolve as an investor, only take on and define the level of risk that you're comfortable with, and live to fight another day. All right. Don't try to make this investing thing more than what it is. Okay. Investing is investing. You come into this community to become a better independent investor. And that's what we're trying to do. I'm not trying to, advocate for a message that just makes me a better investor. I'm trying to make you the best investor that you can possibly be. And on a weekly basis, it's a pretty good frequency to get together and hit home that point. So I just want to thank everybody. Really appreciate it. Again, kick over, add yourself to the Facebook group, go through the questionnaire, the tutorial, etc. We'll get you in that group and we'll be glad to have you. But with that, guys, we'll plan on being back here next Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Independent Investor Channel live stream. You guys be well, be safe, and have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.